All right, guys, so it's obviously ladies that are joining me. There's a couple of things that came up this week from last Wednesday since I spoke in the center. And yeah, sorry, it's my cocoa for those of you that are joining me on the caffeine-free month. So like I explained to some of you, we went to India January. They got me off my coffee, which I never thought would happen. Yes, I know some of you said you'll never be able to get off your caffeine. The wonderful thing is if you tell your brain you can't, and it's amazing you won't. Where if you tell yourself you can, it's amazing how the body responds totally different. So I also, I didn't know that my godmother had given me caffeine in my bottle when I was a baby. So I knew that from the age of 5, I was given caffeine to wake up by my mother. So yeah, caffeine was a huge part of my life. But what ended up happening is I started getting really, really tired. So obviously the caffeine, yes, it's got good contributes. It's a great fat burner. But if you have too much of it, that's also not good. So when I'm talking about stuff here, and yes, not all of you are going to agree. I'm not a doctor. I've been doing diets, nutrition for 30 years. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Bernadette. I've been in the fitness industry for 30 years. So what I'm sharing here is literally when you are getting stuck. So last week when I said about fasting or whatever, if it works for you, then great. Then you don't need to sit and listen to what I have to say here. Because yes, I know everybody's got their opinions. I'm literally coming on live to help those people that are stuck. All right, so that is why I'm here every Wednesday. And yes, I love talking to you people and I love getting feedback. Thanks for those of you that have already given me feedback that your weight has started shifting just by implementing the couple of things that I've said over the last 3-4 weeks. Yes, a lot of people don't agree with it. That's fine. So if your intermittent fasting is working for you, I'm happy for you. That's great. Go for it. There's a place and time for everything. I'm literally helping people that are stuck because I can't get to everybody. I'm only one person. And yeah, to write a book now, I'll rather sit and chat to you live about all the stuff. All right, so what happened in the last week, there were 2 things that came up from my clients. Oh, you said the whole caffeine thing. Sorry, so when we went to India, the guy said to me, yeah, he's going to change my mind. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't know that I've been on caffeine since I was born, by the looks of it. And within 3 days, I was pretty much off my coffee. But you can't take the caffeine away and not replace it with something else that is going to make you feel good. So that's what I'm going to talk to you guys today, is that serotonin levels that we need. And that's why I've got my cocoa here now. And it's nice and cold here in Cape Town. All of a sudden the weather's just changed. For those of you that are not from South Africa, we had a beautiful sunny day and now look at it today. Now the wind by for ons waar. But anyway. All right, so what we're talking about today was something that came up. Clients that are struggling as they go into menopause with depression. So, like I explained to you the couple of previous sessions, your estrogen levels is what's dropping. That's why we get the hot flushes. So if you understand your hormones a little bit better, then you'll understand why you're going through all this stuff. So now with the hot flush, you're not sleeping well. Right, so that is the actual reason why we end up getting depressed, because sleep deprivation, those of you that have had children, that's probably the worst torture one can give to any human, is to sleep deprive them. I mean, they've done tests on that as well. You will literally commit family murder. And I've been there too. I have 3 children. So you all know what we're talking about. So when it comes to not sleeping well at night, that will be the first thing that will make you really, really depressed. All right, so the hot flushes that you are getting now with the menopause, that is what's preventing you from sleeping properly at night, and that then snowballs into the whole other effects of depression and. So the main thing is you've got to get your estrogen back up now again. So 2 sessions back when I spoke to you guys about why you might not be losing weight is because your estrogen levels are too high. So this is now totally opposite. So now we hit, I'm 55 for those of you that don't know how old I am. So now you hit menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, you know, that is alles gepause, maar anyway. So when you hit that, then everything changes now. So now you've got to increase your estrogen again. So hopefully by this time, you've got your weight under control. So now today, I'm literally just talking about depression. And then the other one thing that came up was digestion. One of my clients said that she struggles extremely from digestion. Actually just mentioned it here on Facebook. She's still one of my clients. And just a quick one on that is, if you're struggling with digestion, make sure that your first few mouthfuls that you're eating, like I told you before, that you have to have protein, carbs, and fat in each meal. Make sure that your first couple of mouths that you are taking is protein first. Right, so the protein gets digested in the stomach, the carbohydrates is already starting to digest in the mouth. That's why the insulin levels can spike so easily if you're eating carbohydrates first and then your protein afterwards. So if you're struggling with digestion, always make sure that you're having protein first. Right, that's just on that. And then what I do give my clients, like in a salad, if you add a slice of pineapple, that will also help just with the digestion of the protein, because yes, the protein is the part that the body has to work really hard in digesting that. That's why we lose weight when we increase our protein, because that helps the sugar level stable, plus it increases your metabolism. Those are all the things that I mentioned 2-3 weeks ago. You're more than welcome, just scroll down. I know there's quite a lot of information that's on my page, but just scroll down and you'll see the videos there. But yeah, that's just a quick one on digestion. So I want to specifically today talk about the depression part and menopause. So what was the other thing that I wanted to mention? Now I forgot. Alright, so as we get menopause, the estrogen is coming down. That's what I was talking about. Alright, so now how do we increase the estrogen again? Unless you're going to go on to, like I said last week, onto bioidentical creams. Food-wise, there's obviously a lot of foods that one can incorporate in your diet which will make you feel better. So if you look at your estrogen, foods that increase estrogen, we're looking at soya, which I told last time for you. Be careful of having too much of it if you're trying to lose weight on the hip area. Something that they did incorporate now when we were in India, which and that's the part that I slip up on. It's the same with my cocoa, which is why when I tell my clients do a 4-week focus, because for some weird reason after 4 weeks dan kom die wiele af. Why, I don't know. We can't focus so long. So my clients do really well for 3 weeks, and then the 4th week, even myself, then we tend to lose the battle somewhere. So we've got to refocus again. So when we went to India, the first thing that they gave us was a lot of omega-3, which that's the one thing that you need to increase, because that's the part that also helps your brain. So omega-3 you would get in like your salmon. I don't eat a lot of salmon and it's expensive, so I prefer to do the capsules. I now do 2 omega-3 capsules in the morning and I do 2 in the evening. So that's my omega-3. And then the other thing that they added for us was the avo. So we're doing a half avo in the morning and a half at lunchtime with our olive oil. And the weird thing, like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, is as I increased my oil, my weight was coming down far quicker. So that's the good fats that is helping your body cope with all this menopause change. And there's a lot of other stuff that also happened. My pH on my skin changed. I had a wart on the side of my face, which has now fallen off. So yeah, so it's not a bad thing in general, just to make sure that those are the things that you're incorporating into your diet. So obviously when it comes to the brain side, you're wanting to increase your serotonin levels. When it comes to the cocoa, right, this has now replaced my coffee, which I got back into the bad habit this last week, especially when I was now at the center. We were drinking coffee quite often, and then I can feel I'm really getting tired. Even my app, my readiness on my app went right down to 15, which, I mean, a couple of weeks ago I was sitting at 100. So all those little things and those little bad habits that come back again, that we struggle with, just refocus again. Make sure that you make notes as to what did you change when you started the journey, because we forget. It's something that we've learned now at New Skin. You've got to write this stuff down. So if you've got goals that you're working towards, write them down. If you changed your diet, write them down. When I send you a diet, you've got a meal plan, print it or put it on your phone so you can see what you're following. And if you're not doing what's on the meal plan, write down what else you are doing. All right, we forget for people, and especially in nowadays, we've got too much stuff going on in our minds. Even I forget. So I've got to go back to what I did in the beginning. So that's why yesterday was the challenge of no caffeine for a month. Back on that. I've been busy the whole week, so I didn't get to the other thing I added, was the apple in the morning also, where I put my yogurt over that. So my breakfast has increased quite a bit. So that was the one thing I think that people were preaching me about, was the fact that everybody's intermittent fasting and nobody's having breakfast. So my breakfast consists of an apple, yogurt, my blueberries, which is the antioxidants, and I have then the half avo with the olive oil, and I have that on the slice of toast. So the toast I've brought back in again because now the wheat needs to increase. That's another thing that will increase your estrogen, is wheat, which last time I said cut it out if you're trying to lose fat in your bum. But now we're talking about depression and we're talking about menopause. So those are natural things that you can help to increase your estrogen, and those are all good natural foods that you need to eat pretty much every day. That's why they tell you to have 5 grains a day, 5 vegetables, fruit, whatever. I know it's difficult. I don't have the time every morning to eat all of that. But I do feel the difference as to the days when I'm not eating like that. So if you can get into that routine, and if you guys didn't get this now, otherwise just go back, watch the video, write it down. You can just send me a message and I'll share it with you again. All right. Okay, so energy levels. So back with the depression and the menopause, obviously with not sleeping well, then we just don't feel like doing anything. So we wake up and we're tired. So now we can't focus on eating right. Where if you can just get yourself to get into the routine, eat a proper breakfast, like I said now, you already start feeling better. You'll keep your sugar level constant, which I spoke about 2 weeks ago, which will also just help your mood, so that the sugar is not dropping all the time. So all the frequent eating is not just good for losing weight, it is also good for what your body needs at a regular level and for your brain. I know it's time consuming. I get really busy during the day, then I don't always have time to eat. That's why also for my clients that are rushing off, I tell them to do a protein shake with the flax oil. So your flax oil, LP oil, has got the right combination of your omega-3 and 6. Remember, the omega-3 is the one that I said is in the salmon. Your 6 you get from your nuts. That's also very important. A lot of my clients that come to me for the diet, they know that they're getting their apple with the peanut butter and cinnamon as a snack, or they're getting a handful of nuts with the fruit as a snack. Those nuts are really important. Those are all the good fats that your body needs. So those are also things that will make you feel better, especially when you are struggling now with depression and in the menopause. Right, so those are all the good natural foods that one's body needs on a regular basis, not just in a week, every day if one can get it in. And if you struggle then with getting all of those in, then the easiest is the spoon of flax oil in your protein shake and with a banana. So obviously banana's got potassium in also, and your B vitamins, which is also really good for your head and energy. So those are the things that helps us feel good. So if you are struggling with being tired, the first thing that I give my clients, I make sure that they do a good multivitamin. So we've got the Mega 2000, which is based on Solgus B2000. It's the strongest B vitamin that you can find on the market. We are on Take-A-Lot, so that's always the first thing that you add if the client is also struggling just with energy, to make sure that their B vitamins are on the right level. And then you start eating frequent. All right, 1 protein, 1 carb, 1 fat in each meal. Make sure your fats that you're getting in are more good fats than bad fats. Okay, bad fats, I'm talking about your sausage and your lamb chop. There's a space for that as well, because we do need those kind of fats, so don't cut it out. Okay, the body wants balance. There's a lot of good stuff in your cheese. The body needs butter, but it's the amount that we're eating. So if you're cutting down on those things, smaller, more often, then the body will get everything that it needs. I always tell my clients, if I'm giving you 5 meals a day, make sure out of the 5, if you're starting to mix and match and swap and change, that you are getting at least 2 to 3 of the good fats in, and then 2 to 3 of the bad fats. All right, then it's more of a lifestyle as well, and you're getting everything in that your body needs. All right. So if there's any other questions that you guys have got, I love the feedback. It gives me something to chat about again for next week. I just want to make sure that I've covered everything. We were talking about depression. Yeah, I did mention about digestion, but I think I'll go into that better last time, because I know I gave a lot of information today. I can't talk too much, so I'll keep it at that. If there's anything else you guys want to know, just send me feedback on the image, and the pooch part, I can handle that as well. I've been called a go-to until I realized that it's the greatest of all times, so I don't care what you call me. It doesn't affect me at all. I'm here to help those people that really want to be helped, and those people that feel that I'm talking crap. That's also fine. All right, guys, have a lovely day. I just want to show you a little bit what it looks like here in South Africa. We had a beautiful sunny day yesterday, and vandag is die wolke uit. Prachtig. And the birds are singing, and it's a beautiful day, and I love, wish you guys the best. We'll chat next, well, next week I'm in India, so I'll see if I can talk live there. We're now going back. I think all of you know that they picked a plaque in my heart, which was really interesting, because as a nutritionist, I'm guiding you guys on eating correctly. So yeah, that was a case of, I love pushing myself, training too hard, which is also not good. So my mom always said, ja, enige iets te veel is nie goed nie. So we're going back to India on Sunday, so I'll be on that side, but yeah, I will clock in as I can and share all the experience that I have on that side. It was an amazing experience in January, and I'd love to share with all of you again when I'm there. So yeah, we'll chat soon. Right, have a lovely day. Bye.